Hey guys, how you doing? This is Brother Bill, and me and my number one granddaughter, Jade Lynn Grace. We are down here at the Crossville Mission Bible Training Center today, and we're going to be here with the residents and cooking breakfast for them, and we're going to do devotions as well. And I just wanted to show you how generous people have been this year to give. Because this goes toward the program itself. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about it, why we're here, and what it's all about. But I'm going to take you around here and just show you some things in this video and let you talk to the director of the Crossville Mission. So anyway, I'll get right back with you.
Basketball.
Okay, guys, it's Brother Bill, and you are looking at Adam Singh and Kaylee Singh, his wife. I am down here with Gracie at the Crossville Mission Bible Training Center, and just wanted to talk to these fine folks here and let you guys in on what happens down here, and let you be introduced to the directors and get their side of things here to kind of fill things in for us. And it would be better for them to tell you than me, because I kind of ramble. Of course, you guys know that. But anyway, let's get to this thing. Adam.
Yes.
Say hey.
Hey.
Hey, Kelly. Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, this is Adam Singh. Like I said, he is the director down here. So we're going to ask him a couple questions and get his take on these things. So, you guys ready?
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Well, Adam, how did you come to Crossville Mission Bible Training Center?
Sure. So it was back in 2012. I led a life of addiction since I was pretty much 14 years old is when I started my addiction, and in and out of institutions, in and out of jails. Found myself in Knoxville, Tennessee, looking at some pretty hefty criminal charges. And the Lord made a way. My attorney that I had sent somebody here before, and basically God opened up the door for me to come here February 15th, 2012, and since then my life has never been the same. The Lord got a hold of me, got saved, and haven't looked back. And it's been a journey, and I'm so grateful to the Lord for bringing me here, because I was living a life of sin, and I was on a one-way street to death, and I realized that, and it's only by His grace that I'm even here, sitting here with my beautiful wife, and we have 2 children, and God's just really just radically transformed and changed my life. So thankful.
Good. So you got married. How long ago has that been? Just a few years.
2019.
2019, so
2019.
yeah, 4 years.
So Kelly, what are you doing here? How did you get here?
So my story is similar to his and everyone else's that come here. From a similar background, good family, raised the right way, just made bad choices on my own. No reason, no, it's my fault. Ended up being an IV drug user for a while, in and out of jail, just like him, and eventually was at the bottom of the bottomest pit you could ever imagine, with no way out, not knowing what to do. The Lord intervened and made this path wide open to come here. Just unbelievable how it all worked out. To me, fighting it tooth and nail as long as I possibly could, and eventually coming here, and that being the first day of the rest of my life, that changed for the better. I knew the Bible, I knew what going to church meant, but I didn't know Jesus, and I didn't have a relationship with him. So everything changed whenever I got here and learned how to do that, and was discipled and was taught things that I'd never been taught before, and able to put them into practice. Was held accountable for my actions, which is something, a lot of families and a lot of people around you when you are in addiction enable you, and I was enabled. So that was something that was very beneficial coming here, was being held accountable for actions, learning right from wrong, and actually having to stick to that, and not being able to kind of sneak your way out of it, because that's another thing that we always did, especially being a female. You're able to manipulate and get your way out of pretty much anything. But coming here, having that relationship, meeting my husband, and another incredible
touch on
story.
that. You guys met, and see, because Adam was on staff, you were a resident going through the program, and somehow God worked this out, and now you're both one flesh running the mission. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Whenever I came to be checked in, the first day I got here, Adam was the overseer at the time, and so he actually checked me in. He's the person that I was calling every day and checking in, making excuses to, lying to, and got here, and he checked me in, and I was mad and angry, detoxing, and just mad at the world, and I thought he was weird, and I didn't know why he was even here. Like, you're too good.
Has that
for
changed?
this.
He's kind of still weird.
I've just embraced it now.
There's grace for that.
Just embrace the awareness. Embrace the awareness.
It's funny because as you're talking, I'm thinking about how God brought Eve to Adam.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, God's bringing this woman to Adam to be his helpmate, and they don't even have a clue.
No, not at all. They didn't know for years.
They did not know. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, there's thousands and thousands of programs out there. There's thousands of halfway houses. There's thousands of just all kinds of things out there. What makes this program different than the rest?
Sure. So what is so unique about this ministry, Bill, is number one, it's free. So there is you don't have to have insurance. You don't have to have money. We believe that just like the gospel should be free to all, that we offer this program free to really anyone. And as far as requirements go, all that is required is that somebody is willing. We take anyone. When you pull up on the driveway down there, there's a sign that we have down there, and underneath it says "Help for the Desperate." And like Kelly was touching on, like that's where I was at a point in my life. I was so desperate for change that I didn't even know which way was up, which way was down anymore. And another thing about this ministry as well that's unique is once somebody graduates, they have an opportunity to stay on here.
How long is the graduation?
Sure. It's 8 to 10 months.
Okay, the initial is 8 to 10
yes,
months. Okay.
Which is also really good because it's not 30 day, it's not 60 day. We're not giving medication. We're literally pointing them to Christ. And not just getting them saved and then saying, see you later. We are actually day after day, every hour of the day, discipling and mentoring and, pointing people in the right direction. So, sanctification is a process. And this whole program is basically built upon the Word of God and discipleship. That's one of the last things Jesus told his disciple was to go make disciples, and that's really what this program does. It cuts through the surface stuff, which is the drugs and the outward disobedience and rebellion and the sin, and it cuts through to the heart of the issue, just like Jesus did. He always cut through the heart of the issue. So get to the root of the problem, I know for me personally, I always tried to fill a void, and I was trying to fill it with drugs and sex and whatever else that you could possibly, but it was like you're putting money with pockets with holes in it, and it just wouldn't fill you up. And when I came to know Jesus, I finally found something that I was like, wow, like I'm whole. That void, that thing that I've been searching for, and that's what's so special about the mission. And I think people testify when they come on this property that they can feel the presence of God. And I believe,
He's here in this room, and it's all I can do to sit still.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I believe the reason for that is because it's a house full of desperate people, hurting people that are broken over their sin and want something better. And I believe in that place is where the presence of God truly lives. And so that's
I think that's great, because there's a word you used to describe it, and you said ministry. And I'm reminded of a scripture that says, therefore we have received mercy, this ministry of mercy.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's a ministry of mercy.
Yes.
And I think you probably hit that right on the head, because you do see it as kingdom work. You see it as finding the lost soul and pointing them to Jesus. There's a lot of programs that free people from addictions. I mean, you can quit cigarettes by yourself, for instance.
Sure.
But you still missed you missed the reason why you smoked. You missed the reason why you did that. And I think that's good that you mentioned that. So that's awesome. Get to the root.
Amen.
Get to the root. All right. Well, me being a parent of someone that was involved in this, how can a loved one help the most those who are addicted? Especially for a parent or a friend or a spouse or a grandparent or something like that. How can those on the outside and have that loved one that's stuck in this, how can they help the most?
Sure. Well, I'll let Kelly touch a little bit on this one, and then I'll kind of expand on it more.
I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind, I already touched on earlier, is enabling. And
explain that.
Now having a child, children of my own, I can understand that a lot more of how, you love them unconditionally. So of course you want to protect them. You want to do everything that you possibly can to help them. But when it comes to addiction, it's a whole different ballgame. So enabling is what we see is one of the biggest hindrances that we see. A lot of families reach out, and they're reaching out for help for their loved one that's 40 years old. And that's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but the person, the 40-year-old or whoever it is, they need to be the one. They have, because if they just come here for somebody else, they're going to leave, or they're not going to be here for the right reasons. There's not going to be a change. So enabling is one of the, there's a fine line there, because I understand on one part, but then, it's tough, but you gotta set those boundaries. And if that means the person being homeless or not having a vehicle or not having a cell phone or whatever it may be, that's what it takes.
That's tough, isn't it?
It is. Oh yeah.
I mean, I've got friends. I can't let my daughter or my son starve to death. I can't. They're stuck over here and they can't get transportation here. Their phone don't work. Whatever it is, and they run to it, and they run to go help them and help them and help them and help them, and nothing ever changes. And so that enabling, it's a hard thing. It's not easy, is it? And you can't do it by yourself. So would you, because you're relying here on Christ himself making the change. So for those loved ones, they need Christ too to help them endure the absenteeism, the fear, the anguish, the grief, the process. So they need Christ just as much as the one that's addicted, because it's going to take him.
Sure.
It has to take him. So
and particularly, Bill, too, in addiction and how addiction works, someone will never ever come out of addiction if they are continually given resources. We see it all the time here, and we've seen really, really unfortunate things and people that have been in the same cycle for years because they know that they go to a program, and whether they graduate, don't graduate, leave early, they know that mommy and daddy are going to take them back. They're going to put a roof over their head. They're going to feed them, and it's just this cycle that is never ending. And you ask. The question was, how can a family member help? Well, what my mom and dad did was they kicked me out when I was 18 years old, and they said, "You are not welcome here." Did that mean that they didn't love me? No, they loved me enough to say, "Hey, we're not putting up with this anymore," and put me in God's hands. And hey, did I immediately go get help then? No, sir. I kept doing the same thing, but then it got worse and worse and worse, and eventually brought me to my knees and to the place where I was willing, in which I ended up in Crossville. But none of that would have happened if they would have just kept giving me money, or if they would have kept just saying, "Hey, come on in." Right. I would still be in my addiction today, or worse, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
So we think we're helping when really we're hurting.
Right.
And the best thing you can do for your loved one that's in addiction is, hey, if they want to get to a program, help them get to a program. Once they're there, leave them. Leave them, because addiction is very manipulative, and it's not your loved one taught. This is addiction that is taught. This has such a stronghold on people, and especially if they've been in addiction for years. I mean, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4 years before they're even thinking clearly. You think you're helping, and you're often hindering. And the work that we do here, some of the most difficult things that we deal with aren't even with the person; it's with their family. And because
it's hard to hear.
Their families are being so difficult, and they're actually getting in the way of what we're trying to accomplish here.
Right. It's a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
And the flesh can only take you so far, and it's the flesh that kind of outwins sometimes, because people aren't willing to go to the spiritual side of things, because it's a spirit, and it's an evil spirit that's working against the whole family situation and just trying to manipulate. And well, we could talk about this stuff on and on and on. I mean, there's so many stories, but they're success stories. You two guys are a success story. Two awesome, beautiful little girls, intelligent, smart, and active, and busy, and that kind of thing. I'm just going to show y'all a picture of Adam and Kaylee
sure.
up there. How cool is that? So you guys are an inspiration to me. I share your story all the time when I'm talking to folks. I've got a good friend of mine. They're kind of in that same situation with a child, and adult child, and they're not the only ones. There's lots of them out there that are struggling. It's not just drug addiction; it's pornography addiction. Oh gosh, it's terrible out there. You've got eating disorder addictions. There's all kinds of self-abuse addictions. It's all from the same vein, and it works the same way. And so you guys take whoever will come, and the fact that it's free. Do you still require a bus ticket?
We do,
but if somebody can't,
if someone can't, we just say
come on in anyway. So
that's
really
just a formality in case So really, when they graduate, we can get them back.
Sure.
It's not. Listen, if someone's desperate, wanting to come in and need help, we're going to take them.
Okay.
And really, to wrap this all up, really, we cannot change you. This program cannot change you. The only one that can break that cycle of addiction is Jesus Christ. And that's really what it comes down to. And that's really where we try to get out of the way and just say, hey, listen, we don't have the healing for you, but we know the one who does.
Right.
So,
and that's what's important. You're doing what we're told to do. Point them to Jesus.
Exactly.
And you're just making him easily available.
Yep.
You're not getting in the way. So I think that's incredible. Well, I've enjoyed this, and we've got some devotion to do today, so we're excited. Me and Gracie's had an awesome time as always.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
We love coming down here, and folks, I'm just going to encourage everybody out there. I hope you would take the time. I know everybody's busy today, and I just pray that this video gets out there and is shared, and people would take, I'm looking at 17 minutes here, to take the time to listen all the way through. I know there's this stigma about people in addiction, and people want to turn a blind eye to it because it's an embarrassment, it's a shame, it's guilt, all those kind of things that are there. But I would like to bring this to the surface because there's help. And God wants to help all of us. We're all sinners, and we in need of Him, you know. Whatever the sin is, we're still sinners, and we need help.
Yep.
So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Bill.
And we are going to put this out there on our page, and hopefully our channel, and hopefully we'll get somebody some help that we need. Because what are they, 17, 18 now across the states? Something like that?
Yeah,
missions?
19 actually.
19 now?
19, yep.
And it's the same thing.
Yep.
It's the same thing, every
Yep.
one of them.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All
Love
right.
y'all, and we will see you again shortly.
Thank you.
Okay.